In terms of absolute floor price, Taiyo Robotics is like the cream of the crop of Solana NFTs. It is at the top or near the top of the price cap on Magic Eden or wherever you look. It is the one of the most highest valued NFTs in the Solana world. In this video, I'm going to discuss why I think that's the case and look at the overall amount of hype and all of the different reasons why this particular NFT is so highly valued. And these are the things that you want to consider whether you're going to purchase one for yourself. So I think that if you're a person who is trying to diversify some of your Ethereum earnings into Solana blue chips, or if you're trying to diversify some of your crypto earnings, or if you're just like a Solana fanboy like myself, then this NFT collection is one that you ought to consider. I'm not saying you should or should not buy it, but these are all of the reasons why you might want to look into it and continue to do your own research. So let's dive into Taiyo Robotics. The floor price is currently sitting around 167 Solana as of yesterday when I put this slideshow together, which was March 12th. We are deep in a bear market for NFTs and crypto, but the chart has just continued to be going up and to the right through this bear market, which is a very, very promising sign. And furthermore, the collection size is very small at only 2,121 NFTs available. There is a breeding mechanism that is given rise to a second generation we'll talk about later. But for this original collection, there's just over 2,000 available, making the scarcity a very, very real factor. And the total volume is pretty high. I think that the total volume isn't as high as it could be just because the price is so high, and most Solana investors are not looking into NFTs at this price point. But considering that they just launched back in late December, right around Christmas time, the total volume of 74,000 Solana is very impressive. Now, I mentioned that this chart just goes up and to the right. And as you can see, it doesn't really dump at any point. It just has a couple weeks where it's flat, but it doesn't, and then it'll pump. But after it pumps, it doesn't really dump off nearly as much as you would expect. I usually see NFT charts that go flat and then they pump and then they dump, and sometimes they'll go all the way back down to the initial flat point and then hit a new high after that. With this one, it seems to just go up, flat, up, relatively flat, and keep going in that direction, which is really interesting to me. I will note that the all-time high near 200 Solana is on the chart, but we're not really that far off from it, being down 25% or whatever. Considering the current bear market we've been in, I don't think that this is really a red flag at all, in my opinion. One thing I do consider to be a red flag, though, that I would definitely be considering if I was thinking about picking one of these up, is that there are some days where there are no transactions on this NFT. As you can see, looking back for the transaction history during the last month, so going back from March 12th to February 12th, which is, again, this deep bear market, you can see there are a lot of days where there are just no transactions on this NFT, at least as reported by Solana Floor Pro. And there are days where 20 of them are being sold. So in terms of liquidity, this can be problematic if you're the type of trader where you like to be able to dump things on the floor and get rid of it within a couple hours. Then this is not the NFT for you. But honestly, if you're looking at something in this price range, you're probably not that kind of person in the first place. There are sales going on all the time. It's just that the number of transactions is pretty low. So definitely think carefully about that. The social media presence isn't really that huge. None of these Solana projects really are. I will mention my Discord number is probably wrong here. I got a little bit lazy. I couldn't figure out how many people were in there off the top of like my head in the first 10 minutes I was in there. There's a decent amount of activity. It all seems legitimate. It's not like a bot farm or something crazy. The team is solid. Overall, the presence in social media, they seem to communicate what they need to, and nothing really beyond that, which I think is really nice. And There is a staking system with a cryptocurrency, a utility token associated with it. And I think that this is part of the reason for the hype of this NFT. Currently, more than like 90% of these NFTs are staked. They have a website where you can check this out. And that's one thing I want to mention really quick is all of the technology uh, behind this NFT collection is world class. It's as good as anything I've seen on Ethereum. It's as good as anything I've seen in Solana. They have multiple websites where they tell you statistics like what percentage of them are staked. They have a website with a very nice staking system. They have a website where you can customize your NFTs. They have a website where you can handle breeding. All of this stuff seems to work pretty well based on the things I was seeing in Discord and the discussions going on there. And so this is one of the main reasons I'm bullish on this project is the team really seems to have their crap together, and they seem to have the capability to deliver on their roadmap on the technology side and every other aspect of this project. And so I know that was a bit of a diversion, but my point is that this staking and scrap system works very well. It's proven to be highly effective and people really like it. And that's like the number one most important thing about these systems, honestly, is that people are using it and that it works very, very well. And there aren't a bunch of glitches because that's when you get FUD and that's when people start to dump these things. So this is a really, really positive sign. Let's talk about the details of how this works. Their utility token is called Scrap. And you have to stake your Taiyo Robotics NFT in order to earn scrap. You can select how many days you're going to stake it for or lock it for. And depending on how long you lock it, you will earn extra scrap up to a 8.5 scrap per day, but you also have to pay scrap up front in order to lock. So it gives you incentive, like you have to spend scrap to earn scrap, which I think is a really interesting dynamic that I haven't really seen before. And so if you pay to stake, then you get an additional like bonus for your staking. And I think that's a really interesting concept that gives scrap even more value. In addition to that, you can use your scrap for customizing your NFT artwork. And I'll show some examples of some before and afters here in a second on the way you can customize. I don't know if it affects your rarity or whatever, but it does look very cool. Plus, there is a breeding mechanism. So I think that's the primary driver for people trying to buy scrap or to earn scrap is that you can get 2 Taiyo Robotics of this Genesis collection and 1,000 scrap. And then you can go to their website and you can breed and it creates an incubator. The incubators are listed also on Magic Eden. They have like a 50 Solana floor price. We'll discuss those later. And then you have to wait 30 days and then you get one of these Taiyo Robotics infants. So that's pretty cool. The incubator, as I mentioned, it takes, once you do the breeding, you have to wait 30 days for the incubator to give birth to the infant. Once you have an infant, there's 1 scrap per day bonus for that infant that you're going to earn. Now, they haven't implemented that, but it's on the roadmap. And like I said, the floor price on these is near 50 Solana, which is awesome. It also gives you, if you buy one of these, let's say you can't afford a Taiyo Robotics, but you want an infant, you're still going to get in on the DAO that the main holders of the main collection have. And there's also customization, I think, that you can do to the infants, but don't quote me on that. I didn't double check that. Here's some before and after examples of the customizations that you can do using Scrap on their website. And it gives you, I think, a preview, and then they'll actually reassign your NFT to the same address. This is a really cool, really slick system. And you can see somebody just wanted some like cosmetic changes to their NFT to make it more personalized to their taste. And in this one, they added this really cool background. I think the backgrounds are nice. I really like NFTs with backgrounds personally. It's just something that really appeals to me. So this pretty much wraps up the conversation about Taiyo Robotics. I'm definitely curious to hear what you think about this collection. Could you afford one? Would you sell off other NFTs to buy one? Are there any other blue chips that you're looking at that you'd like me to discuss in this series? Or do you hold one of these? If so, why do you hold one of these? What makes this project so interesting? Did I miss anything? All these questions, I would definitely love to hear from you in the comments. Please subscribe and like the video, and I will see you in the next one.